Hi there, good morning. This is Karen Corcoran-Hall from Tara Biz Condell and ClientMarketingSolutions.com. I wanted to talk to you today to share some wisdom and some knowledge with you about what business model in Spain is best for you if you're deciding or you're considering going into business in Spain. And as always, I would start the video just reminding everyone that this cannot be specific knowledge. It cannot be taken per se to cover each and every example, okay? That I would always advise a personalized look. I mean, you need to revise your specific needs, okay? But for the sake of argument, these are the global ideas that I would give to people if they come in or they walk into me in the street and they say, oh, you're an accountant in Spain. I'm thinking of going into business. What's the best thing for me? All right. A lot of folks will come up to me and they'll say, a lot of British and Irish people will come and say, I want to set up a company. Now that to a Spaniard in Spain, that means a completely different thing because it means a limited company, all right? So I think if we start with the basics of what business models are currently being used, okay? We have the minimum, the cheapest and the easiest, the simplest is a sole trader, where you have just one person who goes into business, gets their activity licenses and pays their taxes. You also have a sole trader with a little bit more complication, a bigger business. They may have employees, etc., etc. And then you can have what we call an on-paper partnership without going to the extreme or the expense of setting up an SL or a limited company. You can set up what they call a CB or Comunidad de Bienes, all right? Where you have 2, 3, 4 different people come together on a partnership and then they all take their shares or their share of the profits or the losses, and the tax returns and the accounts are done accordingly. That's sort of level 2, all right? And level 3 would be an SL, a limited company, where you have several partners or one person, a sole trader, as sole owner, of the company. And there is, to set that type of business up, an SL or a Sociedad Limitada, in Spain takes probably about a month to actually get the thing fully registered. It's not like in other countries. So if you're planning to do a business, to set up a business, to open a business, to open doors, you need to schedule that into your business plan as well. All right. Then there is what they call an SA, which is a Sociedad Anónima, where you actually can it's like stocks and shares of the company at a completely higher level, okay? It requires a huge amount of investment, etc., etc. So for all intents and purposes, we're going to talk about the two simplest options, being a sole trader, okay, or setting up a limited company, a Spanish limited company. And a lot of people, when they come in and say, I want to set up a company, can you help me? I'll say, what investment or what business plan do you have? Unfortunately, a lot of people, when they come to the beautiful island of Tenerife, I don't know whether it's the sunshine, it's the magnetic energy from Mount Teide, or we're stuck smack in the beautiful Atlantic Ocean. But a lot of the times, and I say this with my hand on my heart, a lot of the British people, I often question whether they leave their brains in Britain, all right? They do things, they spend out money, and they invest in things that they wouldn't, they take decisions that they wouldn't necessarily make in the UK, okay? They would ponder them, they would get proper advice, okay, before they jump into the pool without checking that there's actually water in the pool, if you get where I'm coming from. So over the 25 years of true in the trenches experience of my own businesses in Spain and helping many thousands of business owners in their enterprises, I can honestly say to you that I would consider that you look very carefully before you put pen to paper, before you rather pay money over to invest either in a lease, in a traspaso, or buy a locale, or begin a business. You need to consider the following. Do you have a business plan? Do you have a budget? Do you know what your expected client base will be? Do you know where your ideal clients will be at? Etc., etc. Those, it doesn't have to be high powered and highfalutin, as we say in the north of Ireland. It can be a very simple business plan. But honey, if you have your idea and you want the business to work, why don't you pay somebody like us to do that for you? There are lots of good accountants out there in Spain that can help you with this. If you feel that you don't have the ability or the time to do this, it's not a huge investment, and I would consider that you need that business plan and certain budgeting factors to know, do I have enough money to make this business work? Do I have enough strategies in this business to make it work? Is it a viable business? Okay. I know that somebody said to me the other day, if you don't have 50%, if you don't go into enterprises that you have at least 50% chance of failing, your dreams are not big enough, okay? That is beautiful part of me, the spiritual accountant part of me says, that's great, positive thinking, etc. But the strategist and the accountant and the figures, numbers girl, the other part of me will say, you need to look at your figures before you jump into that business, okay? So that said, what would be the areas, or what would be the reasons, the main powerful reasons that someone would set up an SL rather than being a sole trader? So as always, or nearly always, I write a fact sheet. I have a very simple fact sheet which you're more than welcome to have. You can sign up for our newsletters as well at Tarabiz. But if you send us a private message with your email, we can send this through to you. And it's a fact sheet, and the title is Which Biz Model is Best for Me in Spain? It's very simple. It's a 2-page, very simple document, okay? Just to whet your appetite to get you some ideas flowing. And what I've written here is that the reasons that I have seen and consider apt that folks choose an SL or a Spanish limited company over a sole trader would be, one, very simply, street cred. Street credibility, the notion that you have a different energy about you because it's almost a posher, more classy business structure. People will take you more seriously if you go in and you've got an SL, you've got a limited company, that you've taken the time and the money to invest in a business setup that is much more formal. That can impress and can help with your marketing. It can actually open doors. I've seen this happen time in, time out. However, if you've got a small business, for example, that you and your husband, for example, are going to set up a small cleaning company, and you still don't have any clients, that is not what I would recommend. I'm the first person in a particular specific meeting with a client or a prospective client, I would be the first one to say, you do not want to go down the route of an SL just now. It's too much investment, and the other reasons, the other factors do not warrant that type of heavy investment, all right? So the street cred, I think that's clear. Number 2 would be the investment involved. If you're going to be investing a couple of €100,000 in the business, in buying machinery, in buying a commercial unit, in buying vehicles, etc., or in acquiring staff or a lease or whatever, okay, if the investment is of a certain considerable size, then I would advise from right away that you set up an SL, okay, because your business structure will follow on. If you're investing a couple of €100,000, you're not going to be making a small profit, okay, in your business. That's the theory. That's the theory, and in practice that happens, that follows through as well. So depending on the investment and the type of investment, the type of machinery, etc., that you're going to be investing in that situation, it would be much more to your advantage to set up a limited company before you start investing the money, all right? That's a very important point. You don't invest the money and then say, I'm setting up an SL, although we do have ways to help you through that if you've already done that. We are solution mindset orientated. We always look for a positive solution, and in 25 years, we're pretty good. I'm pretty good at finding solutions for you. So the third reason would be ongoing tax liabilities, okay? As an individual sole trader, you can pay up to 46% in tax on profit, all right? That's a sizable chunk of your profit margin. It's nearly half, it's nearly 50%. So an SL in the first 2 years, a Spanish limited company, in the first 2 years of profit, the company will only pay 15% tax. The corporate tax is at 15%. So you see that there are other tax structures, and there are even companies in the Canary Islands that you can get your tax down to a fixed 1% on profit. We can talk about that as well, but right now we're keeping it simple. The scenario would be, in the SL, if your profit margin in your business is expected to be over, I would say, 60,000 euros per annum, I would definitely say that you need right away to set up an SL. Why do I say right away? Because you can. I always use the analogy of a baby or a child crawling before it walks, before it runs. In business it's like that as well. So perhaps a small business, well focused, can expand. The whole point of having a business plan is to go into expansion, not to have a fixed 50,000-60,000 euro profit every year, which is nice. We're not sneezing at that, but the growth of your business we want to achieve through marketing and through business strategy, that your business grows every year rather than stays the same level. So there's no reason why if you wanted to start off small and touch your toes into the business waters, if you get where I'm coming from, you could set up as a sole trader, and then down the route, actually change to an SL, transform that business concept into a limited company. That's possible as well. What I would not advise is if there are predominant reasons of investment, of high cost investment in the business, that you set up a sole trader and then change, because it'll probably be 2-3 months down the road that you need to do that, and that's silly. You're going to be paying for a set of papers to be done in your name as a sole trader, and then have to redo them again. That's silly. All right. So I will not do that either for clients. I will advise. At the end of the day, when I say I will not do, I advise, I facilitate, and then it's the client's decision. Obviously, I would like people to trust me enough to trust my advice and act on it. But people have the freedom in our business as our clients to choose what they do at the end of the day. So the the ongoing tax liabilities, if your estimated profit margin is over around 60k per annum for your business, consider that a company tax structure will generally, okay, we're talking generic things here, not specifics, generally mean that you pay less tax. So that in that case, with that type of business and business plan set up, you'd be better to set up immediately an SL rather than a sole trader. And the fourth is something that a lot of people feel uncomfortable with. Okay, the fourth reason to set up an SL, a Spanish limited company, rather than a sole trader, is asset protection. Okay, that you don't necessarily know. Or that you know already that there is a certain risk to the business, okay, that you could actually crash and go bankrupt, and not only that, to have liabilities and debts with third and fourth parties. If that is the case, okay, a lot of people will set up an SL to protect, because in Spanish it's Sociedad Responsabilidad Limitada, so it's a limited responsibility a company. So anything in the activity, the day-to-day activity, any debts that are accrued, okay, will be only reclaimed normally against initially, okay, the company assets rather than private assets of the company directors or business owners, okay. So a lot of people will consider that perhaps they'll go into business and put their assets, their properties, etc., into a spouse's or children's names, okay, to protect the current assets when they're going into a business venture. So that's another focus as well. A lot of people will feel uncomfortable about that because they don't feel that it's correct, or they don't think that it's ethical. I'm going to be harming people in the future. No, what you're doing is protecting your family and protecting your existing assets, okay? And that's good business policy. that's very solid business sense, all right? So don't feel bad about that. So those in brief are the four main reasons that people would set up an SL to go into business in Spain rather than being a sole trader, all right? So if you have any questions, please reach out. That's what we're here for. Send us a PM on Facebook or an email, or give us an old-fashioned call at our office, okay? I've just, in conclusion to this particular subject, would read out to you what I've written in the fact sheet, which is available for you if you need it, if you want it. In essence, I think that the best businesses over the 25 years of in the trenches experience here that I have been those businesses and business owners who start with a business plan, with a strategy and a budget planning, and with those things in mind, know what their targets are so that they can hold themselves accountable and they can market with those factors in mind, okay? So as I said as well in the fact sheet, we can help with all of that. Before you actually invest in your business, you have a business idea, we can help you develop a business plan together with figures, okay, with logistics and with time factors, okay, involved in that. We can help you with that. Conclusion, our dream, my dream specifically, the reason I went into business 25 years ago, was to help you lot achieve your dreams and to keep sane in the process, both parties, all right? I would term that we are literally happy success merchants, okay? We're not accountants, we're not just legal advisors, we don't just do tax. We're here to give us total support system, being love, serving love, and making a positive difference daily for you and your loved ones in your life and your business. That's what we're about, guys. So if this resonates with you, reach out, we're here for you. Much love, have a great day. Bye-bye.